What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Awakening World, our Wednesday night edition. I'm your host, Love Coach Scott Katamas, and we've got a really fun show tonight, and we're going to make it very interactive. We are going to be talking about love. Last Saturday night, we had a wonderful show about doing everything with love. I want to kind of carry that theme on. And we're going to talk about uniting in love, which is a double entendre, because we have with us the founders of Unite.love, Shine and Crystal. They're back with us, and we love both of them. I'm going to get to know them more fully today. And they have brought one of their dear friends, Stephen Young. So we're going to meet Stephen and learn all about him. He's an amazing guy who I'm really excited to learn more about him. And as always, we have our beloved brother, Omashar, with us. And Omashar will be playing at least 2 musical numbers for us. Where's Trish? Trish is at Oakland Airport getting her bags, and she's going to try and zoom in with us. So hopefully she'll be joining us shortly. Now, I want to acknowledge, first of all, a lot of our dear friends are already in the Zoom room. I see many of our regulars, and I want to invite our regulars to be prepared to interact. So Jeffrey, Karen, Jay Mayer, those of you who are, super regulars, I want us to interact a little bit and talk about what does it mean to really unite in love. And we'll even do a little bit of light touch tonight. But I also want to acknowledge that most of you that are watching on Facebook or YouTube. A big thanks to Alan Steinfeld, because a lot of people watch us on his YouTube channel. But I also want to acknowledge John and Summer Raymer. They get us out to over 130 Facebook groups and pages. So most of you are watching us that way. Now that's nice, it's great, but you know what? Come on into the Zoom room. In fact, I want to invite you to join the Global Peace Tribe. We are a wonderful group of friends, ever growing. We do 3 or 4 shows every week and retreats. We've got a retreat coming up in 2 weeks. So join the Global Peace Tribe, and it's easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com. That's globalpeacetribe.com. I'm going to bring it up and show it to you in a moment. And what happens is when you go there, you'll be able to learn all about us. You'll be able to learn about the different shows that we do, the different hosts that we have. But right now, go there, globalpeacetribe.com, click register for the new season, like that. There you go. And it's going to take us to the registration page. As I said, we do 3 shows every week. So for example, that's just kind of our main poster. Those are all regulars on the show, all those wonderful souls. And here we are. That's tonight's show, all about uniting in love. And then this Saturday night, You know, there's a lot going on astrologically and energetically. I've had many different kind of authority figures, people that I respect, have said that March, the spring equinox, for those of us in the northern hemisphere, it's spring. For down below, it's fall. The astrological alignment, Pluto is moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius, which is apparently a big deal. I'm not an expert on it, but the twin Ray are joining us on Saturday night, and they are very clear and very brilliant, really disseminators of information. And so they're going to be sharing with us on Saturday night what's going on energetically, astrologically, and how to really utilize these energies for our awakening world. And we have wonderful music with Omashar and Kristen Hoffman on Saturday night. And then Sunday, we're going to celebrate the equinox with wonderful Abigail Spinner McBride. People love her. Again, Omashar and a new guest, Bright Hawk. So, for example, those are this week's shows. And you can register by just going to this page, click register now, and join us. And you're going to get the links to all of our shows for the next 4 months, taking us all the way to the end of June. Now, the best part is getting the links. You get to come into the Zoom room. We're going to be able to chat directly with Shine and Crystal and Omashar and Stephen and myself. You're going to get to know Jay Mayer and Reverend Jeffrey and Karen and all of our friends. A really beautiful tribe. We are the Global Peace Tribe. And we always start and end our shows with music. And usually that is our wonderful house musical artist, my co-pilot. Hello, Omashar.
Namaste and aloha, everybody. What a beautiful night. And I'm in Colorado at the moment. We've gone from winter to summer, back to winter in 3 days. So how about that? But such is life. Okay, let's start with a nice song. And this one's going to be called I Am You. Yes, we are here and now, and it's time to leave the past behind. So take me by the hand, let us walk across this sacred land, because I am you. Though we seem to come from different skies, and what is true is the light that shines right through your eyes. I'll sail away with you across the universe. I will fly on eagle's wings, and you know we'll cry with gratitude. Remember, you're always divinely connected. Our spirits, our bodies are being resurrected. The love in your hearts will lift you up, and I'll come along and fill your cup. that shines right through your eyes. 1,000 sunny days describes the joy I feel. I'll walk 1,000,000 miles, 'cause you know we'll see the truth revealed. And we will remember we're always divinely connected. Our spirits, our bodies are being resurrected. The love in your hearts will lift you up, and I'll come along and fill your cup. From different skies.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Omashar.
Always fun. It's always fun watching people dancing.
Isn't it wonderful how more and more of our people are getting up and dancing?
It's liberating, and to be seen on camera as well. You can put on a bit of a shiny act. It's great. Hey, Trish.
Yeah. Is Trish here?
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh, where is she?
I'm going to bring you up, Trish. Here she is.
She lives.
There we are. Yay!
Hi. I'm a little late.
No, you're perfectly on time. We can talk about
the
you.
airport caught me up, and now I'm sitting at baggage claim, but I wouldn't miss this for the world. Hi, Shine and Crystal. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Scott and Omashar. Ooh, and all of our friends. Yay.
I like the hat.
Oh, this is my usual. The usual.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Nice.
Well, thank you for tuning in from baggage claim, and hopefully the signal will stay with us. It's all about uniting in love tonight. And but before I do that, you know what? I got so excited that Trish was here that I almost forgot to remind people that we can all support Omashar by buying his music. And we do that by going to Bandcamp. Just go to Omashar, OMASHAR.bandcamp.com. He's got great albums. I especially like The Flower of Life. That's my favorite, but they're all wonderful. And so we can support him in that way. And I'm going to put the full spotlight on our special guests. We collaborate with so many different organizations, and probably our newest kind of ongoing collaboration is with these two beautiful people, Shine and Crystal. And they are the co-founders of Unite.love. It's an eco-wellness marketplace and community connection and content platform to elevate personal and planetary well-being. Their mission is to connect people to community and resources that help all of us to feel better and to find what we're looking for more easily. And they work with individuals, they work with businesses, and they are very ambitious. I remember hearing Shine say he wants to be bigger than Google. That made quite an impression on me, I gotta say, Shine. So let's just start by, tell us, what does it mean to you? Obviously it's Unite.love, but what does it mean to each of you personally for us to unite in love? What does that mean to you?
Gosh, I think our handle for our Facebook page is Unite Within, and that I did that because other ones weren't available. But when I felt into it, it's like, first I need to unite with my soul and come into alignment so that I can be present and whole and harmonious and nice to be around. And then it's fun to unite with other people who, are also connected to their souls. And I think that's like the true heaven on earth that we're going for, is everyone taking accountability for their own alignment, BYOA, bring your own alignment, but then co-creating and collaborating and coming into this beautiful joy where we're not needing others to change for us to be happy, but we get to co-create and play and bounce off of each other's things. And I love that bit from Neil Donald Walsh, where the souls are looking down and one soul says, I want to experience everything. And the other soul says, oh, I'll go down and I'll hurt you so badly that you'll get to experience what it means to be unconditionally loving. And he says, you would do that for me? You would take yourself out of your alignment to like give me an opportunity to feel unconditional love? And I just love that. So that was one thing. Sorry.
Beautiful. And Crystal, you look like gorgeous. You look like you're dressed for the ball tonight.
We are at a women in business event down in Seattle. So they were
to tag along.
Yeah, he got to tag along, but it's primarily for women in business. And we're kind of smack in the middle of the event. And we said, we have a very important commitment. We can't stand these guys up. And they said, here, you can use our meeting room. So they've given us a room to in between offerings so that we can join you guys. And then we'll get back to the networking and connecting with other.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well,
so for me,
Crystal,
uniting in love, everything Shine said. And for me, often I'm a mom, and that's where my, a lot of times it's easier for me to connect and support others than me first. And being with Shine has really been helpful to teach me, put my oxygen mask on first, but it's a really quick and easy way for me to connect to myself, and my heart is supporting others. So for me, when we come together, when we unite, it actually brings me into that love state very quickly. Like when I'm with my kids, like when I'm with with a puppy, it just getting to unite and collaborate with amazing people when we come together and we're all juiced up together. It's just like one of the quickest ways for me to get into my heart, get connected to source. So yeah, for me, it's just, and I know that's the piece I need to do first, but it's really fun when we get to do it together, and it just gets me right there. So that's for me.
Beautiful. Well, in a moment, I'll have you introduce us to Stephen, but I'm going to bring on our beloved Trish while she still is available. Your lighting actually and internet looks great. So what does it mean for you to unite in love, Trish?
To unite in love. This is a good question. It's been up in some of the conversations that I've been having around my work and other people's work in the world. And to unite in love, for me, again, I mean, you've heard it before from my lips, is that love is the radical acceptance of what is. And then there's actions that align with that particular piece. For me, this is love. Love is individual and defined from within, as they were saying. So to unite in love for me is to see someone and myself in our sovereignty, in our the trueness of our being, or their being, or whatever it may be in the world, like to actually accept what is real now, and to really foster and support their sovereignty, whatever that may look like. Sovereignty in the sense of how can we help each other get more and more free emotionally, physically, spiritually. That means that we find people who are still struggling, even though that all life is suffering, right? That we find people who are suffering, and we get in there with them, and we love them, and we open our hearts, and we accept them, and we find compassion in unity. So that's what I would say uniting in love is action.
Thank you for sharing that. It reminds me of my dad, who used to teach me, son, when you go to a party, there's will be all the social people and the people that are popular, but look around for the person who's standing by themselves and walk up to that person and introduce yourself. And Dad really was strong about that. It stuck with me. And that's what I'm kind of hearing from you too, Trish. It's like, who around us is feeling lonely? Who around us is struggling? Who could use a call or a walk or a talk or some extra love? And that is a beautiful part of uniting in love. So thank you.
Can I add one more thing? One minor thing
Always.
is that it's easy to love the good or to appreciate the good, but I would actually argue this. Yes, I'm going to argue this that love is something about being with discomfort and challenge and the like not so feel good, the icky stuff, and to be there with that person, or to be, to actually step and accept that. Like that is the action of love. That's what I wanted to make a distinction. Thanks.
Beautiful. I'm going to read a couple of comments from our audience. Then I'm going to go to Omashar to hear what he has to say. And then I think we're going to meet Stephen Young. But Jay Mayer, who we're going to hear from later on tonight, he's going to do some light touch for us, I believe. Jay writes, when I unite in love, the law of attraction is activated and magical powers are available to create more divine love and miracles. I'll have some of what he's having. Eleanor Joy writes, so far I'm agreeing with all of you and aspiring to practice all of this. Jennifer, who's going to be at our upcoming retreat, I'm excited with her beloved Charlotte. Jennifer writes, to come together with the intention of putting love forth in the world. Thank you, Jennifer. Eleanor Joy writes, when poking around town, I consciously connect with others through simple ways like, your jacket is beautiful. And this always brings a smile of delight. Absolutely. Dia writes, I unite in love each time I tune in with all of you. Thank you, Dia. Charlotte just sent a big heart, so that's lovely. And Melinda writes, I try to raise my vibration and look into a stranger's eyes so they feel a moment of love. Thank you. Everybody else, put in more comments. Also, if you want to come on camera and share, just raise your hand using the little chat raised hand function. And let's hear what our beloved brother Omashar has to say. And I see a couple hands are up. So in a moment, I'll go to Sylvia.
Cool. I know, right?
Yeah, we got hands, but you're up, partner. And then we'll go to...
I am up. So I love what you said, Trish, about love is the radical acceptance of what is, because I need to be reminded of that every day, every minute. And also what Jay was saying about when I unite in love, the law of attraction is activated and magical powers are available. I'm finding that in my own life. And I think Shine said a bit earlier that when I am connected to all, that is the soul, the source of all creation within myself, it's far more easy to connect with others. And so I go through a process every morning of aligning myself. Today I was a little out of sorts. Because my British license and my American driving license ran out on the same day. So I ran to the DMV today in Colorado to change my pretty Hawaii license to a Colorado mountain license. So there was a feeling of loss there. But what opens my heart is every single person that I've met, whether I'm on the bike path or walking through the mountains here or in the DMV, treated me with respect and love. And that reflection from out within just reminded me, okay, there is hope in the world. The DMV is probably one of the grimiest places I've ever been in the last little while, but everyone in there was giving everybody exactly the right amount of time that they needed to do what they went there for, which included me, because I didn't have any identification to prove that I lived here. So we got through all the hoops and hurdles. But I'm just so warmed by people's response to me. And as Eleanor was mentioning, whenever I go out, I even parked my car the other day. There's a lot of homeless people everywhere, but in Colorado at the moment in the spring, they kind of come out and their hair everywhere and the shopping trolleys full of all their stuff. And I'll make a point of stopping my car, going over to them and to one of our kin who's doesn't have a home and just saying hello. And but I don't think I could have done that 2 or 3 years ago in the same way as I am now, because because we're all from the same source of creation. We are all glorious beings of light and love within forms who are being programmed into a state of dementia. I call this the third dementia. And it's a work in process. Every single day it's a work in process. And the last piece of this is that I have stopped, for the most part, judging myself. And that is when everything really turned around, because the more I let the light in and the more I let the love in, the more that is lurking in the deeps of Omashar comes up, and some of it is really childish. And if I'm not aligned, it'll catch me and I'll get caught by it until I go, hang on a minute. You don't feel 2.5 years older. You're going to go, well, no, I don't. And I'll talk myself back into the center. And so I think I've rambled enough for now. But that is my uniting in love.
Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to hear from 3 of our kind of friends, 7, Reverend Jeffrey and Sonia, and Sylvia and Nitya. And then we'll go back to Shining Crystal, who will introduce us to Stephen, and we'll learn more about Unite.love. But let's hear from Reverend Jeffrey. Jeffrey, what do you want to share about uniting in love? You're up, partner.
All right. Well, if you probably could guess, part of it is the Lovolution. And it is. It's an understanding that we're in a process. Lovolution is a process. It's joining with the universe, which it is in the process of Lovolution. So it's that trust and that faith that everything is moving into a higher coherency and higher order, and allowing yourself to grow into a more loving place. But I also have fun thing like, Omashar is me. I love connecting with people. And so I always have a little card that says Lovolution, nothing else on it. And I give it away, and it's Lovolution, just a free word to kind of get it spread around. And people love it. Most everybody I give it to, it's just and of course they look to see if there's a business, but there isn't. There's no connection. And you can, it's just such a quick way to identify that we're all on this path together. Whether I'm walking in the woods and someone comes by, I said, "This is a Lovolutionary path. Here's a free word for you." And so it is, it's really showing up here. This is part of my Lovolutionary path, is being here with everybody and sharing whatever I have in my heart with everyone here. And I'm optimistic that that we have wonderful new things part of the Lovolution. The science is coming. People out there in all walks and all areas are in this process of bringing the earth to a higher order, bringing our own consciousness to that. So yeah, start here and then take it out and share it everywhere you go. So Lovolution's a solution. Feel free to share that. I'm hoping someday that the word will actually make it into the dictionary, and it's free for everyone to play with and use as you want. So Scott, first, you're wonderful. This is an incredible venue for people to come to, and I look forward to many more opportunities to be here and watch and get information. The information I gain here and get to share is just another process of our collective growth in our wisdom and in our ascension, so to speak. So bless everybody. Thank everybody for being here.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Good to see you, Sonia. All right, Sylvia and Nitya.
Love you.
Thank you. Sylvia, Nitya.
For me, it's easier to share an experience than to define something. One of my recent practices has been going to various parks and singing with the trees. And one of the chants that I sing with them, if you know it, feel free, as you're muted, to sing along with me, is Loka samasta sukhino May all beings thrive, and may each of us have a part in that thriving. And sharing origami and candles is part of that uniting in love as well.
You two are so beautiful. God bless you. I always appreciate your contributions to our shows and also Kristen Hoffman's monthly gathering. Thank you so much. Seven Carnegie. This is, I believe, your first time that you have been on The Awakening World expressing yourself. Good to see you.
Hi, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you sound great.
Seven.
Yeah, so I've been uniting with Unite for many years and learning what the verb unite really means. And, verbs are interesting when you work with time and time being linear or static, because we do know that all is complete. And so I'm experiencing this sort of linear journey of uniting, and it's been wonderful both digitally but also in person. I feel that there is a transfer of love energy that I interpret as information. My name is a number, and so I'm very numbers oriented. I'm an accountant, and I'm, and so I interpret it as information, and sometimes that information comes through online, but sometimes there's information that happens vibrationally, a love vibration that happens, and you can really pick up on it when you're in the same room with somebody who's bringing that. And at the last in-person event at Unite, Shine and Crystal don't even know about this, but there was a person there that I didn't speak to verbally until just at the end of the day after, 12 hours of being there, 14 hours I was there. And I went over to him and I said, I've really experienced your presence here today. And I want to thank you for that, because he was bringing something that didn't happen through words or faces or, how we look at people's appearances and such. So unite being a verb, and being surrounded, diving into, and love being an energy, a purity, a truth that is literally a bottomless well, that is the source, that is each of us. And so when we unite in love, we don't leave anything behind. We just either know that we are, or maybe we're not aware in some of those moments, but we always are. So I know that might have sounded really abstract coming from an accountant, but sometimes the language, just kind of goes into these realms of understanding that are intangible, I suppose. And so I also just want to say I really, really appreciate the Unite.love platform, where I can any time, any minute of any day of the week, I can connect on that platform and just get a little tidbit, a little bit of information about other people's experience and journey as they step into uniting, as they step into love, and they share so much love. And so it's wonderful. It's not just the products and events, where you're able to purchase tickets to a concert or whatever. It's also, people just sharing, like, I really love this. And you can feel that juicy vibe coming through. So highly recommend you go and check out Unite.love platform. And it's been a wonderful journey. So
Seven, while I've got you and Crystal and Shine here, quick question.
Yeah.
You've known them for a while, yeah?
6 years, you guys. 6 years ago, I showed up on a full moon.
So you've watched Shine and Crystal uniting in love.
yeah, as these things happen, it was like I wouldn't see them for maybe months, and then maybe weeks. And so now I'm a little bit like fangirling a lot recently, but I've recently realized that my best investment is in myself. And like what Crystal is saying is that when we invest in ourselves and we really like do our own hygiene for ourselves, both in body, it is important to take care of our body, and also mind, spirit, emotional, psychological, somatic hygiene, and so I'm investing a lot in myself, and I find myself actually going to more of their events this year than ever before. So yeah, it's been really wonderful. Big recommend. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you. It's great to have you with us, and hopefully we'll hear and see more of you.
Mhm.
I'm back with Cheyenne and Crystal. It's kind of
We
sweet,
are.
wasn't it? Hearing from so many different people.
I love it. This is a great one. I'm loving that.
Well, I'm going to turn it back over to you. I'd love for you to introduce us to Stephen. We'll get to know him a little bit, and then we'll have a little light touch break. But please introduce us to your friend Stephen.
Okay, I have a thing here. Dr. Stephen Young's moonshot goal is to help 1 billion people regain their sovereignty of their mental, physical, and spiritual evolution. He serves as a bridge to harmonize the old and new, east and west, internal and external, heaven and earth. He has directly supported the healing of over 9,000 plus patients directly. In the last 20 years, over 50,000 people in his online courses. I learn new things every day. He is a foodie with a goal to eat at the top 50 restaurants in the world and strives to live significantly in this insignificant life.
Aww.
Wow. And my first conversation with Stephen was this, just, it's like when you meet that like sort of big brother vibe of like just such a beautiful person to look up to, and he just had such a beautiful flow, and I just felt this like, oh, I just love connecting with you. I want to like jam and let's co-create. And it was just that instant like, okay, like what are we doing? So thank you so much for being here, Stephen, and you're one of my favorite humans.
Well, thank you for such kind words. So Scott, would you like me to answer that question? How would you like me to proceed? Oh, you're muted.
Yes, please. Yeah, let's start that way.
Okay. Yeah, so in my current practice, I like to think that we have already achieved a destination. We're just getting rid of some of the illusions that were not there. So just to give context. And so for me, it isn't about uniting or loving. It's about getting rid of the thing that's giving us the illusion that we are not united and are already not in love. And so I believe the most powerful separation mechanism in illusion of separation is fear. And so I think it's about just dissolving and letting go of that fear. And fear typically comes from attachments. And so really this is a game and a practice of non-attachment. So that's what the uniting part. And as far as love, I am a huge fan of, I say this a lot on different podcasts, which is to be a light bulb instead of a laser, right? Because again, we're conditioned through school because they want to make very productive, efficient workers to be transactional, right? Get from A to B, which is like taking a laser and pointing at someone. I want to love that person. I love this thing. And I believe that, I mean, in my own practice, it's about just being a light bulb of love. And then from that light bulb, you're just broadcasting everywhere. And if I were to say that in more relatable terms, I call it reasonless self-expression, right? So you remember that you are already loved and you reasonlessly self-express, because I believe that if we intentionally love, just like if we want to feed someone, we must find a hungry person to feed. And in fact, if we go really deep into hermetics, we're actually manifesting hunger so that we can feed them. And so sometimes in that reality, if we want to love someone, we must actually create the lack of love for us to give them love. And so my current practice is to reasonlessly express, to bypass that polarity. So yeah, that would be my complex answer of a simple practice.
Love that
Okay.
so much.
I'm gonna put us all on camera a little bit. Now I'm looking at your website, Stephen,
Yeah.
and there's something you that I really love that I'm gonna read to people. He writes, I am a revealer of people's greatness through mind and body optimization. My passion is to unite humanity through the practice of self-love and self-mastery. I believe that together we can leave this world a better place for future generations. So tell us a little bit, because obviously you do mind work, you do body work, you clearly work a lot with entrepreneurs. Tell us more about your actual practice.
Yeah, so for 20 years, I actually had a physical practice, 7,000 square foot facility where we did mind, body, spirit stuff. We had a whole team, holistic approach, and I called it my test kitchen, basically for sorry, and I would be very upfront with the 9,000 patients. Like they're all just like guinea pigs for me to explore and with curiosity play with different variables. And so that was a big part of my life for 20 years. And then I exited that in May of 2021, mainly because I felt like I completed my testing. And so from that, we took some commonalities, some common things that we saw from me collecting so much data for 20 years, and I've started other companies that are more leverageable, where we can impact, 1 billion plus people. And one of those companies is called Immortal with 2 M's, AMMORTAL. And we're building technologies like an actual physical container, a physical chamber you get into, and through 7 different technologies and a immersive experience, it will completely shift and restore your mind, body, and spirit. We're also building an app that is a virtual container that you get in, and it's a Trojan horse. On the surface, it's like a health and wellness app, but really it's a spirituality app. And in fact, everything I do is a Trojan horse. Everything actually is spirituality, just disguised as health and fitness. And I have other companies where we sell courses. I also do run 2 types of experiences. One would be a deep immersive experience where I work with a small group of entrepreneurs. And we basically work on getting them to remember these hermetic laws, these ancient laws, so that they see, operate, and respond to life through sort of source, God, universe, higher self, whatever you want to call it, through that lens instead of just our ego. I also run experiences where we do direct spiritual missions, where like we went to Egypt to do a ritual inside a Great Pyramid to send love directly into the collective consciousness. That was 2021. Last year, we went to Peru to harmonize masculine and feminine energies. This year, we're going to go to Mount Kailash, do a specific ritual for the crown chakra. So direct spiritual missions. So that's all my contributions currently to the world.
Isn't he cool?
Amazing. Wow. I have a question for all of you around access. I think that's, I have big love for people who are actively doing like the work and they have resources to do the work. And I'm curious about how, like, the people who don't have access or who have the resources to work with you, like, how do they unite in love as well?
I can answer that a little bit. So our app is a free app that was basically me taking my 34 years of study and giving that to humanity. So if you want to look at it from an access, a financial perspective, that was sort of, or is my strategy. However, I have seen people come to my experiences, their energetics shift, and immediately their coworkers, their employees, their families, all of their energy shift. And so while those people didn't have direct access, I'm a huge fan of David Hawkins's work. If we just elevate our frequency, let's say to love and joy and bliss, we can offset immediately, roughly 700,000 people who don't have quote unquote access without ever working directly with them. And this is hinted at. So many spiritual teachers talk about the greatest work is, right, because we are the universe. We're tricked into thinking we need to affect these outer people, which is fun. We get to learn empathy and understanding and have a really good, what I call sacred meat suit experience. But ultimately, the deep work is within. So
I love it.
that's all I got.
That's so good. What are we doing now?
Oh, Trisha's unmuting.
If I can speak a little bit about my own experience accessing the services through Unite has been, like, if we're talking on a level of like finances, that's not only has that been the smallest barrier at all. In fact, I would say earlier on, one of the more difficult barriers was actual distance, proximity by location. But finances were never an issue. And then also, I just want to say that, like, if I'm being totally open and honest with all of you, that my own experience of what Stephen just described, that when we step into a version of ourselves that allows more receiving of finances, I'm not going to say we, it's so easy to speak in the collective, like that's my new pronoun, but I'm going to say I. So for myself, I value my meat suit experience and my finances have just like, it's unbelievable. And people ask me like, how are you doing this? Like, how do you have so much money? And like, how does this happen? Like, I want all the money you're getting. How are you getting so much money? And it's just like, well, you know, when you are in vibrational alignment with all of the money that's coming at you, you know, this is something I learned from Shine and Crystal, and Shine will talk quite a bit about Abraham Hicks as well. It's like all of that wealth and all of those finances were already there. The only thing missing was you. And so that has been very literally true for me. And so this year I've been able to give back financially in a lot more ways. So that's what I think about the financial access. Otherwise, the only thing in the way is yourself. Just get out of your own way.
Thanks for that, Seven. Yeah, to speak, if I can carry on, to speak to that, I feel like exactly what Stephen shared there, that if we're in a place where we feel like we're blocked or we're stuck, or I feel like I'm blocked or I'm stuck, I'm not going to be able to receive whatever's being offered, no matter how free it is, how local it is, how under my nose it is. We had so many people be like, I wanted this, what you were offering, and how come I never knew about it? And we're like, I don't know. We have the same friends, we market, like, I don't know how you didn't know, we're right here. So I think that the first piece, if you want access to more anything in your life, more abundance, more community, more clients, is to do whatever you can, like Stephen said, to let go of those blocks that are stopping it. Because we find if people have a money challenge with coming to an event, if they reach out and say, I want to be there, we have a million ways that they can come play, they can volunteer, we can do all kinds of different things where we can give them access to something that they might feel like they don't have access to. And same with, you know, oh, someone doesn't have access to the internet, so they can't receive this content. And I make lovely connections with people walking down the street who were not connecting on the internet. So I feel like it really is that piece of, if you feel like a lack of access to any resource, time, money, internet, computer, whatever it is that is in your mind is the block for you to have more of what you want, doing whatever you can to release that, to soften that, to take that edge off, will give you the inspiration to reach out to someone, even if you don't have the money for their workshop or course, and ask if they have any other options. And everyone I know is just so appreciative of somebody having the courage to ask for support, ask for what they want, be vulnerable, show up, that anytime there's a possibility to support people, we always do offer it. And I know everyone all the workshop, all the people in our community are really the same way. We just appreciate when people want to show up, and it's just taking that step. And I feel like if we take that step within ourselves and show up, acknowledge what's holding us back, let that go, and then we do get the inspiration for who to reach out to, how to what we need to shift, so that we really do. The access needs to come from inside first, and then it's all there waiting for us. So my 2 cents.
Love it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's Shine to share, and then I'm curious, Trish, how these responses are landing for you.
I was thinking about this story the other day.
They're landing perfectly. I mean, it was just a question to, oh, you can't hear me. Sorry. They're landing perfectly. There was no judgment in my question. It was just asking what that means for them and what that might be.
Yeah.
You know, because we live in a world that's very diverse, a diverse set of beliefs and understandings and spirituality. And like one of the questions, I taught a class yesterday. Was it yesterday? Today's Wednesday. Ooh, I have no idea. I taught a class yesterday on something that I call attuned dominance, which is BDSM or kink outside of the patriarchal white supremacy system. And one of the conversations we were having in this class is what is sacred. And I believe that everything is sacred, like everything, down to the trash and the murders and all of that. That is all sacred. It's a human aspect of life, and to create a hierarchy of something that is less or more sacred than something feels deeply out of alignment with me. So in the senses is just hearing what people say and loving them where they're at, and understanding what they do, how they do it. That's all.
I love it.
Shine, I wanted to give you a chance because you started to speak.
Yeah, it was funny. I was thinking about this story the other day where I as I was starting to see all the problems in the world, that as a teenager and young adult, and think, gosh, I really want to help solve some of this stuff, hunger and poverty and war and violence and all these things that seemed kind of insurmountable and overwhelming as a young person. And my spiritual journey took me on a path of songwriting and into a place where I felt like part of my purpose was to make music and play music and share that. And a lot of it was uplifting and channeled and chants and just beautiful. I'll share sometime on the show if you want. And I kept coming up against this inner thing where I said, how can I possibly make music when people are starving in Africa? Like, where, in what world does that make any sense? And so I kind of attracted this experience with Canada World Youth, where I went to Benin, Africa for 3 months with a group of 20 people, 10 Africans, 10 Canadians. And we went 3 months in Quebec, 3 months in Benin. And I had this really, really interesting experience where my vegetarian yoga vibe was like so rejected and like not vibing with the people there. And of course it was me. And I just had such a hard time connecting to the people there. And of course there was lots of beautiful things, but overall I felt like I had such a hard time interacting and even making friends, let alone having any sort of what I could feel as impact. And I felt like I was just like some weird like hippie, and they were just like, whoa, dude, what is this even? And it really kind of, there was a couple things that happened. Like I saw definitely people's mindset, and I wasn't in like, it was funny because it wasn't, I'm sure that people had much less money than people in Canada, like on a dollar per dollar, but in terms of lifestyle, like people had a house and food, and so it wasn't like a starving villagers like on the commercial or anything. But what I took away from that was that I'm probably not the best person to like go there and even know what to do, let alone do it, because I'm not part of that community. And there was just so many pieces. And from that whole experience, what I took was my job is to bring myself into alignment. And then kind of like, if I'm a foot cell, then my best way to help the body is to take care of my area of the foot that I'm part of, that I'm in charge of, and to be guided to like, hey, what's my purpose? What's my thing to do? And rather than looking at it from a point of view of like, I have to go and help. If there's anything wrong, I have to go and help or fix it. And it's funny because I've actually had this in my personal work, where I thought if there was any incongruency in my being, any ancient distant trauma, it's my job to fix it and heal it and, love it into submission. And what I'm learning from Abraham and my own experience is that it's kind of doesn't work like that. Anything I give attention to, it just gets bigger. And I have to kind of go into alignment, and then I can be inspired to clean up certain things and relax or release certain traumas. But it comes from that more aligned place. And so, yeah, what I took from that is that the best way that I can serve humanity is to first, obviously, come into alignment and connection, then follow that inspiration. And I love how Abraham says, like, if you're really inspired about something, it's because it's what's best for you and for everyone around you. Mm-hmm. And if I can be that ripple that impacts someone else, and, that eventually that maybe, people in other countries are being impacted by my ripples and, not directly, but that was really relieving for me of like, okay, it's not my job to take care of everything and all the problems. It's my job to do my little bit that I can do. And then, maybe there's ripples and impact. Of course there are, even if we're just being and loving or sitting, there's impact energetically. But yeah, that's what I took from that experience. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Beautiful. We're going to do like touch in a moment, but I want to go back to Stephen for a minute. Stephen, I noticed that you work a lot with entrepreneurs, and obviously the show is The Awakening World. What's your authentic experience working with entrepreneurs? Is the consciousness movement moving in that direction? And if so, in what ways?
That's a great question. Again, I feel like because of resonance, I have attracted entrepreneurs who are of similar vibration. So as I answer, keep that in mind, might be a skewed answer. I don't think it represents all entrepreneurs. But in the last 3 years, many of my entrepreneur friends have, embarked on a pretty deep spiritual journey. And so, and it's incredible to see that they're doing this. Many of my entrepreneur friends have also reached we'll just call it, they've reached their financial or business carrot, and they don't feel any more fulfilled. And this is a big wake-up call for them. They're like, oh, wait, I've spent 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years chasing this carrot. Now I'm not any happier. And so those are some of the entrepreneur friends that tend to come to my retreats. And first and foremost, I tell them, and I'll share this with everyone, my belief, my opinion, is that we are divinely perfect. We're just unfolding into the next version of divine perfection. And I believe that this is a helpful frame because the entire personal development space says you're currently not perfect. You need this process to be perfect. And so I'm a huge fan of recognizing we are divinely perfect, because if we're made in an image of God, source, everything, there is a divine orchestration that's orchestrating all of this. And so one of my favorite things to do is to sort of pull them into that context, right? Because they've been told, many of my entrepreneur friends got into entrepreneurship, I did myself, to be better, to be good enough. And so the first thing I like to do is tell them, no, you are divinely perfect. From here, what do you want to express into the world? So that expression isn't coming from lack. It isn't coming from being better, being worthy, being safe. It kind of circles back to the reasonless self-expression, our true, most unfiltered contribution into the world. And so many of my entrepreneur friends are in that space. And so they tend to be the ones that come to the experiences that I curate. So again, probably a skewed subset of population just because of resonance.
Oh, thank you for that. Trish and I both we teach together and separately. And we are part of the Love Coach Academy.
Okay.
And when people ask, well, what's the difference between love coaching and traditional therapy? What I just heard you say, Stephen, reminded me of what our answer is, which is that in traditional therapy, the therapists have spent a lot of time learning how to diagnose and evaluate what's wrong with someone. And obviously there's value to that. But in love coaching, we believe there's nothing wrong with anybody. And we're here to help people remember their divinity and to remember that they are divine beings. Now they have challenges. It's challenging to suffer from any number of physical or emotional diseases or ailments. But it still isn't that there's something wrong with you. That's a challenge you're working with. Kind of goes back to what Shine had said earlier when he was talking about Neil Donald Walsh, that we do come into this world to learn lessons of love. And one of my favorite friends, who is very much about dedicating to love, is Jay Mayer. And I'm going to put the spotlight on you, Jay, because you bring a lot of love to the world through light touch. Now your internet connection's it's in the red, so you're kind of blotchy. How's he looking for you, Omashar?
Spotty, but speak, Jay. Let's see if we can hear you. Okay.
Just kidding. How's that? Jay Mayer, touch. Light touch is totally in alignment with everything that we're discussing. Thumbs up if I'm getting through.
Yeah, you're really sketchy, Jay. You're frozen and your voice is chopping up.
Yeah. Jay, can you get a better internet connection? Can you go to another part of your room, house, get a better internet connection? I'll come back to you. Because right now we can't really hear what you're saying.
Well, you could guide. Should I try again? It's like come in closer. Is that it?
No, you're in the red zone, internet wise. So maybe try going to a different part of the house or restarting your computer. That might help. I'll
try a different computer.
Okay. Yeah, because we want to have the complete Jay Mayer experience.
We need you, brother.
We love light touch. Hey, while we're doing that, let's. I'm going to go back to you, Shine, and Crystal. And thank you for being with us, despite you're at the women's conference. Probably it's dinner time. Tell us. This would be a good time for you to tell us about Unite.love, what some of your services are, and how people can interact with you. And feel free to screen share. You can screen share to your website and show people around.
Sure. Thank you so much. So yeah, Unite was sort of born out of this idea of like, how can we bring more awesomeness into the world? How can we bring things that are going to help people feel better? And from this idea that there's not one way, and if there was, Tony Robbins or the Dalai Lama or whoever would have found it already, there's billions of paths for billions of people. And so what we thought of with Unite is, how can we create sort of a melting pot of all the different resources that might help people feel better, whether it's free content or paid product or service or event. And so this is the platform. We've got the love stream here, where people can click to join in on tonight's show. And we've got a show actually tomorrow with some amazing astrologers, which is just funny because we didn't even know it was a particularly unique time. And then an amazing healer, Alan Pratt. So excited to learn his story. And we've got people can use it to sell their event tickets. So we've got lots of local events, mostly in Vancouver. This is our next one, April 9th. And then we're hosting Parangi on May 23rd, and lots of beautiful events coming up. And then different products. We've got our Unite Journeys thing, but Reiki coaching and lots of different stuff. So this is sort of the early stage of things. And what we're really excited about is in order to get the business to a point where anyone can post something on there, and whether it's free content or a paid product, service, or event, and have a ton of people just join in and either join or buy it or whatever that looks like. We want it to be like Airbnb, where if you've ever hosted a room on Airbnb, you know that you don't really have to market it. You don't have to do any promotion for it. Airbnb just has enough people looking that they just find it. And so we want to make it really easy for wellness businesses to find the people that are already looking, because we know that there are so many people offering amazing things, so many people looking for help, support, and guidance, and whatever they're looking for. And it's just a matter of connecting them together and helping them find each other. So building in different tools like reviews and ratings and taste profiles, and I'm having these issues, and who knew that Reiki could help with that, or whatever it ends up being, building in so lots of things to come. And in order to get to that point, we need to have something cool that people love to use, so we can get enough people and businesses on there so that can happen organically. And so that's where we're at right now, is like, what can we do right now? And so we've been playing around with this love stream, where anyone can go live. They can create a future love stream. It's like creating an event on Facebook. And the goal is to fill this up so that there's just hourly shows, starting with weekly shows right now. And we want to have so many people going live and hosting their own shows for free that are bringing people lots of value, and then potential, there can be potential sales and things that happen through that. But that's the goal right now, is to really use the love stream to connect our amazing community and get everyone united. And we just crossed 2,100 members, 700 businesses, and we're doing great with our events as well. So that's the basic overview.
Beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to try going back to Jay for a minute, and hopefully his internet will be much more. He's even got a different background. All right. Hey, Jay, welcome back. Wow, that's very cool. Much better. Yeah, you've got good internet now. So tell us about Light Touch and how that helps us to unite in love, to ourself or to our divinity.
Well, Light Touch is one of the things that they should have, and could have, and it would have been nice if, it had happened when we were learning sex education, because, sex by itself, is kind of an up and down experience. I think everyone can relate to that. Sometimes it could never be any better, and then it's just terrible. And Light Touch it's more the fulfillment of the promise. There's a promise that, that we can awaken, and that we can reach God. And Light Touch is redirecting that sexual energy through all the chakras. And, it is totally in alignment with the law of attraction, which is that, that the blissful situations, the blissful sensations actually open up the law of attraction. And so when you do Light Touch, I like to use feather wands, and then I add a request. So I love to bless everyone here, and when everyone blesses each other, then that becomes cumulative, it becomes exponential. So anyone who would like to, and anyway, you can just tickle a hair in the back of your neck, get to do Light Touch, or, at any part of the soles of your feet are just wonderful. So, I'd like to bless everyone here with your best blessings. And I ask the angels and the invisible spirits, you don't have to believe in anything other than that we're energy, and that we didn't create ourselves. Something created us, and we're here, and we have these magical powers that we can activate. And it's totally in alignment with the teachings of the law of attraction, is that, thank you for blessing everyone here, and we become vessels for good fortune to flow through us. And I loved what they were talking about with abundance. Yes, we should be abundant. And, I like to do light touch and ask for exponential financial blessings for everyone here, for the rest of our lives. This month to month thing, God is better than that. We shouldn't be worried about finances. We should be aligning with great spiritual service to the world and being vessels for good fortune to flow through to achieve our purpose. So thank you for blessing everyone here. I believe, I want to have courses so we can get younger. I believe that we're hypnotized to think we're going to die because we're getting older, and we're going to, we can get younger with each breath, especially when you do light touch and you offer it to the Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, for blessing us with your best blessings. Thank you. That's a short invocation.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm really appreciating how many people automatically went right into doing light touch, either with themselves or with each other. And a reminder, everybody, that you can learn much, much more all about light touch by going to light-touch.me. And I'm going to show the screen for a minute. And Jay has set up a wonderful new program, just started. I registered for it a couple days ago. And it's a way where you can get all sorts of videos and all sorts of really wonderful things for $1. You sign up for $1, and then after that, it's I think $7 a month. And you can learn the secrets, and there's a lot of videos, there's activations. Jay is very, very creative in what he creates. And so I want to encourage everybody to go to light-touch.me, and let's all do light touch together. And we're going to start doing more light touch practice groups. We have one that's been kind of going a little bit. It's kind of a pilot program. We've been enjoying that. So thank you, Jay, for bringing that to us. I want to, I see Seven has her hand up. Seven, what would you like to share?
Yeah, so, that really spoke to me in a big way. I've noticed with the people that I have physical affections with, my family, and children and such, that we kind of have different ideas of how much pressure to apply when we touch. And sometimes my own perception, my own understanding that I'll kind of put a layer over that is, are they touching me harder because they can't feel my spirit? Are they touching me harder because they aren't touching with their spirit? Are they touching me only with their meat body? Thank you, Stephen, for that phrase. I love that because, yeah, what are we using when we touch? And so I really appreciate what Jay just shared, and that was my first experience with that. And I was able to feel light touch from my own hand, but I was able to actually just tune into the light touch of this wool blanket that I love and feel sensations that I was otherwise ignoring. And ooh, I'm getting tingles even and shivers and stuff. So yeah, so just thanks for introducing that. And I'm looking forward to sharing your creative offerings with some of my favorite people.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, I was going to say, if you want, you could pull up the website again and just pause, give it a second to load, because, I've got images there. And, light touch is wonderful for couples at all ages. Like, if you've been married for 25 years, you can recover the spark, because light touch thrives through intimacy. And, you just gets cozy and comfortable, and then you bless each other. And those blessings are really powerful when they're sent, with the feelings, with, oh, it feels so good. Like here, this picture here is really powerful. So when you go to sleep at night, you can just bless each other. with thank you for blessing my light touch partner. And why don't you just hold right there for a second? So, when you invoke for money, you imagine each light you see is saying, thank you for abundance, because we are light. So there's nothing better to reprogram ourselves than doing light touch while looking at flashing lights. So, yes, I've been actually calling on light, more lately, just going, thank you for light, or calling light into the situations. And it's been working pretty well. It's nice when the pendulum moves in your favor, swinging in your behalf, and things are working out favorably. So I'm excited about that and offering it to the world.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate, the beauty of light touch and what you've created, Jay. Thank you so much. And we're going to be doing more and more light touch as part of the awakening world. So it's really important. All right, Stephen, I want to give you a chance to just let people know a little bit more about your services that you provide. And again, his website is his name, Dr. No dot, but Dr. Steve Young, Dr. Steve Young. By the way, my favorite football player of all time was named Steve Young. I love Steve Young. He's my favorite ball player of all time. So you've got a great name.
Nice. Yeah, when he was playing, and I used to check into hotels and restaurants 1,000 times. I heard, oh, we were expecting the real Steve Young.
Oh, you are the real Steve Young.
That would be my answer. I am the real Steve Young.
but that Steve Young is a really great guy, great football player, and a really great guy. So yeah,
phenomenal.
All right, so I'm going to your website and tell us a little bit about the services that you offer.
Yeah. So I've made one of my courses free for everyone, which is the Wisdom's Words course. So essentially, it's a 3-part course where you first become aware of what words you're repeatedly speaking. And then there's a process where you start to realize which words may not be serving you. And then you adjust, and then you pick new words, and then you adopt and become those words. And that is a great place for anyone to start. I made it free since COVID because I feel like now's the time to just give and share as much as possible. I actually am 85% done a book. I was just at a book writing retreat. I'm very excited to launch that soon and take some orders. It's really my 35 years of studying consciousness and spirituality and biology and physiology and physical therapy, all the things, along with sacred wisdoms like Hermetics and Taoism, and combining all of that together into one book. And really, that's my life's work on paper. And there's some channel writing. It's actually a pretty unique book. Some of it I wrote, some of it was channeled, and there'll be different parts of it. So there's that. And of course, for entrepreneurs, we do deep dive experiences. And next year, the app, which will be available for the public, will be finished. We're about 80% done programming that app.
As you were talking about your book, I kind of flipped over to it from your website, and beautiful story of how your wife was in constant chronic pain and how you helped her to transform. So that looks like a very, very beautiful, beautiful story. And it wasn't based on taking drugs for the rest of her life. So yeah, this is a power. Wow, look at that dude. Wow.
My younger days.
Yeah. Wow. You are the real Steve Young. So there's a lot on his website, everybody. Go there to Dr. Steve Young. And Steve, thank you for being with us. Thank you for your patience. And I sure hope that you'll come join us again sometime.
Anytime.
Great. Have a good evening.
All right.
All right. And I'm going to go to, well, it looks like Sean, I don't know, maybe he's off getting some dinner, but
he's off getting our parking validated.
Oh, that's important.
Human pieces in the middle of all this, spiritual enlightenment. We've got to validate our parking.
There's that wonderful book, After the Ecstasy, Do the Laundry.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So after the amazing connection, make sure you get your parking validated.
Hey, is there anything that you want to make sure that people know about that's happening with
Look,
Unite?
we're valid.
Yay! Well, I knew that, but so I'm on my personal Unite page. Anything you want to point out for our audience to know tonight?
Yeah, well, part of why we built Unite was a lot at the beginning of COVID, really wanting to support the community. A lot of our community who we connected with on Facebook and other platforms were kind of tired of the ads, tired of the negative news, tired and leaving social media and feeling like it was kind of an evil thing that was corrupting them. And why part of what we wanted to do with Unite was create a love-based platform. So everything on the platform, instead of Facebook says, you know, what's on your mind when you make a post there, or it has different sayings, and we put spread the love. That's our kind of prompt when you start a post. And so everything we put in there, you know, when you follow someone, it's not the follow icon, it's like two hearts, and they become filled in when you're following each other. So we really wanted to create a space where we get to show up kind of sometimes you go to events and it takes a little, you talk about the weather and then you get into that juiciness after a little while. And what we wanted to do is create a platform where we're kind of already in that juicy connected heart state, because everyone's there not to stalk people, spread spams, share negative messages, but just to uplift each other in whichever way possible. So even if you don't have a product, service, or event, something you want to share with the community directly, coming on the platform and sending little hearts to people saying, I liked your profile picture, exactly what we're all talking about, walking down the street and spreading that love. You can do that on the platform and it will really be received, and it will really benefit all of us, because what we do a lot on social media, and the way social media works is you build up your following so you can market to them, so you can sell to them. That's kind of the way it works. And what we want to do with the platform is we build each other up and we build the community up. And the more people that we invite to the platform, they will benefit you too, because we're working together to create the community. It's not just me building me up. So anytime you have an extra minute and you want to spread a little love, we would love to receive it on the platform. Follow people, share, like, comment. You can do all the same things on the platform that you do mostly on Facebook. So we wanted to create it really, people say it kind of looks like Facebook, and we really wanted to make it not so different that you're like, what is this whole huge thing? Because it's a platform that we're familiar with. So it has some similarities. And then we also created a whole bunch of cool features, like there's going to, and it's just in beta right now, but you can have your vision board on there so you can share things that inspire you. We have a section in your profile where you can share your mission, vision, values for yourself, so that you can go read each other's and be like, oh, that's your value is to like change the face of education and support our little ones, mine too, and then connect that way. So you can message each other through the platform. So yeah, just anytime you've got a little extra love, or like Seven said, anytime you're feeling like maybe, you know, I'm a little disillusioned by life or whatever, come on the platform and make a little post, or just reach out and connect. And it's kind of where we want it to be like, you know, going to a puppy room or a kitten room, and you just feel smushy and get some love. So that's kind of all the like intangible juiciness that we really want in the platform. And then there's the practicality, of course, you know, selling tickets, buying tickets, finding practitioners, and again, supporting each other as a community instead of just building our own networks. So yeah, there's my final share on Unite. Come love us up. We also have lots of Facebook groups, Instagram. So we're on all the platforms. So come connect with us there. And anything you're working on that you want support with, our favorite piece is connecting. That's the Unite part. So if you're looking for a practitioner, you're looking for support with your tech, whatever you're looking for, send us a message, and chances are we know someone to connect you. And that's fun for us, and we love it.
Oh, fantastic. You guys are doing a great job. Love collaborating with you. You look fabulous, and you are valid.
Can I add one tiny piece to the end of that?
Absolutely, Shine.
So good. What we want with the love stream is that people have access to this type of experience 24/7.
Yeah.
And even more than that, even like all the time. so that we can all become hosts of our own shows, and we want to bring the community together and just have a schedule where just every minute of every day there's something cool that you could tune into online and that you could share with a friend, and just all the different subjects. There's education, there's relationships, there's finances, there's wellness, spirituality, damanhur,
But,
everything in one
unlike
place.
becoming the host of your own show, you don't have to build up your own network.
Mm.
So that's the advantage of going live on Unite, is it's going to go live to everybody on Unite. And don't worry, you'll have the ability to turn off and filter and not see things if you don't want to. But the idea is that you kind of already know anyone going live on the platform is probably pretty cool and probably got a lot of awesome stuff to share. So instead of just watching regurgitated content that's pre-recorded on YouTube, why don't you go on Unite, go on the love stream, and have a conversation about how we want to uplift humanity, or raise our kids, or paint our toenails. We had a really fun conversation earlier about a woman who does nail art for mental health. Like, it helps her calm down. And we're like, this is like an amazing tip.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Exactly. So we're going to have a Unite show theme where we're going to do like mental health tips. And we're going to have like all these like crazy things that people don't think of as mental health, but are like amazing. And we need to prioritize those instead of being like, oh, it's vanity or it's consumer, whatever. That like, no, this is like anything you do that supports your mental health is amazing.
Quick abundance plug for her.
Yeah.
I don't know her handle or anything, but she, during COVID, started doing nail art and had no idea how to do any of it. She amassed 86,000 followers on Instagram and paid her rent with a brand sponsorship in like this last few months ago. And it's just so cool. And she's this young Asian woman, and she works for JP Morgan Bank.
Yeah.
So she's like a banker with a side hustle doing these things for mental health. It's so cool. I loved it.
Yeah.
What an amazing awakening world. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, everybody that go to unite.love, make sure you register, become part of it, learn about how to do the love streams. And we're going to be bringing Shine and Crystal on a regular basis because we love them. And we love the people that they bring in, like Stephen Young. So once again, hey, thank you very much, Stephen, for being with us tonight. And I am really excited to announce that Trish has a wonderful new website. At least it's the first time I've seen it. So tell us about what we're looking here at, Trish.
Oh, Scott, you're not looking at the one.
What you just sent me. Oh, you muted, honey. You just muted yourself.
Haha. This is where you can find the Self-Love Show on all the streaming platforms. So if you're not one of those people who can catch it live on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, and you want to show up and still listen, you can have it any way you want it, whether that's Apple or Spotify or whatever your thing is. So I remember that, speaking of mental health, I don't know if you guys know this, that one of my best friends and I developed the Self-Love Show at the beginning of COVID because we realized that people no longer had access to, coaches and therapists and spiritual leaders, and people were broke because they lost their jobs. And we really wanted to create something that gave back to the world. And this is our passion project, Don and I. So I want to make sure everyone gets it.
So a reminder for everybody that you can watch live on Facebook. Tomorrow. It's every Thursday at 10 a.m. Who's your guest tomorrow?
We had someone back out, so we have a rerun tomorrow. And my team will pick the one. Russell will pick the one for you tomorrow because she's learning that whole back end part of it, and I'm really excited. I love them so much. I love my team.
Great. Well, everybody, Self-Love Show, Thursday mornings at 10 a.m. and I'll put in the chat box, or if you go to the selfloveshow.buzzsprout.com, that's where you can catch all the original ones. And she has amazing people. Like I see Dolphin Casper, who you've seen on this show before. And sometimes they do it themselves, like why self-empathy is critical for relating securely with Trish. Really wonderful, wonderful work. So thank you so much, Trish, for being part of this show every Wednesday night. and for what you do every Thursday morning. Thank you for your service to the world. And guess what? Any of you could come spend a week with Trish and myself. We're going to be in Los Angeles together. You know, there's these incredible series of events that are going to be happening in LA starting on March 28th and going all the way through till April 3rd. And a lot of the people that are watching our show that are in the Zoom room are going to be joining us. Of course, Omashar will be with us. Charlotte and Jennifer are on with us right now. They're going to be with us. Connie and Andrew will be joining us. And many, many other global peace drivers. We're going to have amazing music, great teaching. Paul Sterling. We're going to have a day of love coaching. We're going to have Shri and Kira coming up from Ecuador. It's going to be a really, really wonderful week. And I really want to encourage people to join us. There's still room in our mansion. We've rented a huge 7-bedroom estate in a nice neighborhood in West Los Angeles. So come and join us. And I just put the link in. And that link is, if you click it, then that takes you to the page that has all the other links. So you can kind of find out all about what we're doing. So it'll take you to this page. So this is where you click to see the agenda. We have the Facebook group that Roger and Bonnie got started. Thank you, Roger and Bonnie. This is where you can learn all about the LA Convergence, which is where everything's starting on March 28th. 100 of us gathering. Kristen Hoffman, Pato and Antoinette, Bob and Pookie, many others. We're going to have land blessings, travels, Shri and Kira, a lot going on. And then all wrapping up with Connie and Andrew doing a beautiful event on Monday night, April 3rd. So register now, come be part of us. It's going to be really, really special. And I really hope that more of you are going to join us, because when we're all together in person, it's really cool. It's really wonderful. As wonderful as these online shows are, being together in person is phenomenal. Roger and Bonnie will be with us. They're giving us the thumbs up. There they are. And Roger and Bonnie found the mansion. Thank you, you two. You found our place where we're going to be. So good job. Thank you so much. All right. So while you're all registering, or at least exploring about the retreat, you are going to have the opportunity to do that while listening to Omashar's magnificent closing song. What do you got for us, Omashar?
Well, I was as surprised as you are. Spirit, this is my excuse anyway, Spirit tells me what to play each time. And this song that I'm going to sing is, we all know this song, except I rewrote the third verse because I didn't like the lyrics in it. And so I'm going to play it, but I'm going to play it with a background. I made for one of our ET shows a few weeks ago, I made this long bunch of UFO stills behind some beautiful imagery. I'm going to play it. And just notice when I sing the song how it feels with UFOs going around rather than what the song was originally intended for. So I'll start that, and I'm going to go here.
People get ready, there's a train coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. You don't need no tickets, you just thank the Lord. Number people get ready for the train to Jordan, picking up passengers coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and board them. There's hope for all among those loved the most. Open your heart to those who feel lonely. If you're feeling afraid, here's a helping hand. Have love for those who need a little courage, but there's no hiding place from the light of home. So people get ready, there's a train coming. You don't need no baggage, just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. You don't need no ticket, just thank the Lord. You don't need no ticket, just thank the
Fantastic. Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much, Omashar. Thank you.
That was so fun. I haven't sung that for like years, and it just knocked on my door this morning, so I polished it up and I checked out this video behind it and thought that's really obtuse. I'm going to play that.
Video is very cool, and so is the song, and so are you, and so are all of our wonderful friends, Jennifer and Reverend Jeffrey and Shine and Crystal and Steve Young and Sylvia and Nitya and Ellen and Troy and all of you. Thank you so much for being with us. And remember, we all are learning how to unite in love through light touch, through music, through all the different services that people are providing. How blessed we all are. And please do join us this weekend. 2 wonderful shows. This is it. Powerful astrological time. As I guess you'll learn about, go to Shine and Crystal's show tomorrow night, Thursday night. And then definitely join us for the Twin Ray and Kristen Hoffman this Saturday night. And then a big spring equinox celebration on my Sacred Sunday show. I'm sending you lots of love from Sedona, everybody. Sign up for LA. Come to the retreat. If you have questions, send me a message, text me, or Facebook message me, and I'll answer your questions. I want to meet all of you. I want to hug you if you're into hugs. We're into hugs. Take care, everybody. Much love and have a beautiful evening. And I'll go to gallery review one more time. So wave goodbye and send your love. Lots of kisses.